Jeremy Riden, the host of Raising Rainbow, the channel that's 100% committed to encouraging, enlightening, and empowering the LGBTQIA+ community. Who was the grandmother or the mother of rock and roll? Black is beautiful, baby. Black is beautiful. And this is a shout out to the Black lesbian sister Rosetta Tharpe. Sister Rosetta Tharpe. What if I told you that a black bisexual / lesbian was really the influence of rock and roll? A lot of times we hear Elvis Presley, or we'll hear, like, let me just list a few names. When you think of rock and roll, we think of Johnny Cash, Chuck Berry, Elvis Presley, Jerry Lee Lewis, Eric Clapton. These are different rock people with good guitar skills. Well, it all started way back in the 1930s with Sister Rosetta Tharpe. She was actually a gospel performer who took the electric guitar and brought rhythm and blues to it. She would speed up that electric guitar to give you, that high-pitched squeal sound, that fast sound to like move and jerk your body. She was doing that in the late 30s and early 40s. Elvis contributed his music style to her. Little Richard, who many consider to even be the original father of rock and roll. Wake up, Little Rider, all his songs about to sing it. I'm like, no, I'm not going to embarrass myself. She brought Little Richard up on stage when he was 14. So really, we don't give enough credit to our black lesbians and homosexuals. Many people know Little Richard was gay. I mean, that was no secret. Of course, towards the end of his life, he would denounce that. Because what happens? A lot of times when people get to the end of their life, they want to make sure they're right with God. And usually people go back to the original religion that touched them. His was Seventh-day Adventist. And that older generation wasn't taught that being gay is okay. Being a lesbian is lovely. And so a lot of people that were in the music industry are brothers and sisters of the LGBTQ+ community. If you took away all the gay writers, singers, performers, there wouldn't be any music. That would be the day that the music died. Bye, bye, Miss American Pie. Drove my Chevy till the levee. The day the music dies is if you took away all the contributions of people that are a part of the pride community. I heard one preacher say, if you took away every song written the last 100 years by a gay man, there wouldn't be any songs sung in the church. There is a rhythm in the soul. There is soul, deep emotion, deep rhythm for many people that belong to this wonderful rainbow community. So Sister Rosetta Tharpe. Now, the reason why I said lesbian, she was actually married 3 times, but she had a 20-year relationship with Marie Knight. It was her one of her backup singers that she brought on. They did some songs together, and it was commonly known that they were a couple, but it was hush-hush. You didn't talk about that thing. What was also very interesting about Sister Rosetta Tharpe, go look her up. Go look up her 1964 TV appearance in London when she was singing to the outdoor arena, thousands of people in the rain, and she sang an old gospel song called Didn't It Rain, Children? You can see it on YouTube. Sister Rosetta Tharpe, Didn't It Rain, Children? Listen to that guitar. Seeing that older lady play that guitar, she could outplay many of the people today. In fact, they used to accuse her of playing like a man. But really, she was teaching the men to play. I mean, how many lesbians had taught many men and put them in their place in sports and education and intelligence? Not that we're competing, but we want to highlight these great people. Black is beautiful. Black is a wonderful part of the LGBTQIA+ community. And what happens, it's just like a lot of trans people are trying to get recognized now. Just because you're in the rainbow doesn't mean you always got the attention. For many years, it started off as just white, middle-class gay men. And so, they got a lot of the attention. But to realize that there were a lot of other fights going on besides just being a gay man, that's hard enough. But add color to it. Being a person of color, or being a woman of color, or any other minority, being a trans person of color. It was actually trans men or transgender women that started the riots, that stood up. It wasn't even the gay man. It was the men that were transgender men, or they used to call cross-dressers back in that day, not knowing, terminology. And so we're trying to highlight through history people that have done phenomenal things in the world, that have changed genres. Sister Rosetta Tharpe literally helped create the rock and roll blues genre. Her music is phenomenal. She was born in 1913 in Arkansas, but what she did in the 30s and 40s was way ahead of Elvis. And you can see her influencing live when TV came out in 1950. When you see some of the 1960 clips of her in London, just amazing, amazing. I go out and watch it. And I want to say, go highlight, go encourage somebody that is, that has done something for the community. Somebody that, not that they just done something for the gay community or lesbian community, but somebody that's gay or lesbian or transgender, and they've done something with their life. They've broken a record, or they set a goal, or they did something. See, what we're trying to say is we're more than our sexuality, but we want to honor the fact that people in our community, LGBTQ+, IA, all the other ones, you are some of the most talented, passionate, creative geniuses on the planet. And because the world was whitewashed and patriarchy, men controlled, so many ladies didn't get the credit they deserve. So many ladies didn't get the credit. Just like we watched that movie a while back. I can't think of the name, but it was the black NASA lady that did all the calculations that got us to the moon, and she did it in her own head. So we want to honor all women, especially even though the black is beautiful, because Little Richard, he was a black man, gay black man, and he was, several years before Elvis. And so when we look at the lesbian and the homosexual, black people have influenced music, rock and roll, blues, gospels. Another thing I like about Sister Rosetta Tharpe is I started off as Christian. Her music was Christian. But what was crazy, she did something that so many other people never did. She was singing spiritual music in secular places. She would be singing in some of these nightclubs where they had girls barely dressed dancing, and she come out and she sings some religious songs that had some pizzazz and some soul and some spirit. And she was one to really combine secularism with spirituality, saying you can be having a cigarette, drinking a beer, and praising the Lord, feeling spirit in my soul. Some people say, well, that's a contradiction. Back in her time, mainstream Christian singers were mad that she was doing that. But to her, I'll shed the light anywhere. I'll shed the light everywhere. There is no darkness where we can't encourage each other in spirit without judging one another. And I think it would take a bisexual / lesbian black woman to have that understanding, to have the understanding that music is from God, no matter what race, what gender or religion. Music is God. I know there's a God because the melody is playing inside of me. Music can touch you in a way that nothing else can. And if you're not having a connection with spirit, turn on the music. It doesn't have to be just the old rugged cross. Sometimes I got tears when I listen to secular music, but the voice, the melody, the harmony, the lyrics, they're so moving. They move my spirit. And so I wanted to take the time to honor these wonderful black brothers and sisters that have influenced music. Sister Rosetta Tharpe, and I haven't talked about it much, but even Little Richard, he was there in the beginning, Little Richard. And Little Richard was brought on stage at 14. Sister Rosetta Tharpe, she recognized Richard and put him on stage and let him play. So she predates it all. She is the mother of rock and roll. And if you don't want to give her that title, definitely the godmother of blues and rock and roll. And she was a gospel soul. She loved gospel music. Listen, folks, you can love Jesus and be gay. You can love Buddha and be a lesbian. Your sexuality doesn't determine spirituality. Combine it all. This is what Raising the Rainbow is all about, is letting you know you are beautiful. You are sexual, sensual, and wonderful. And you don't have to separate spirituality from secularism. It's all spiritual. Food tastes good. Thank you, Spirit. Music feels good. Thank you, Spirit. Sex is done right. Feels great. Thank you, Spirit. And just acknowledging that it's all spiritual. You don't have to separate the two. You don't have to separate the two. You can feel spirit in your home, in your car. You can feel spirit walking in nature. Just become aware of it. Like Sister Rosetta Tharpe, I might be in a bar, but if I'm singing to God, God's in the bar with me. Bring God into your situation. Bring spirit into your situation. I don't care where you are. Just open up and sing to spirit. Open up your heart. Open up your faith no matter where you are. And you realize The spark of hope is always there. The spark of healing is always there. The spark of love is always there. It does not matter how dark it is. You can bring the light no matter how dark it is, because spirit is in you. Wherever you are, there is spirit. Just recognize it by saying, hello, spirit. Hello, spirit. Hello, love. Hello, joy. Hello, faith. Hello, happiness. I know you're here. I mean, it might be dark. I may not see it, but I know you're here because spirit is in me. And it's beautiful. So if there's someone that has encouraged your spirit, send a shout out to them. Tell them thank you. If there's somebody that's done something great in science or in economics or in health, and they're part of the LGBTQIA family, recognize it, because there is a chip on the world's shoulders on not giving people the recognition they deserve because they're a woman or because they're a minority or because they're gay. And what we want to do is we want to say, hey, we recognize what you're doing to change the whole world. And yes, your sexuality is awesome, but also we want to acknowledge the gift that you brought in whatever area. Listen, you got a gift. Don't allow your sexuality to keep you from shining. Don't allow your gender to keep you from shining. Don't allow your race. Don't allow any reason why the old mindset would keep you from bragging about what you have to offer. What you have to offer is from spirit, and it needs to be put on stage for everyone to see, because you deserve to shine. Raise the rainbow. You deserve to shine. And even if you don't want everyone else to see it in yourself. Appreciate it in yourself. Give yourself the kudos. Hey, this is Raising Rainbow, Jeremy Riden. Hey, do you know any other people that are LGBTQI that are great entertainers? Who are they? Who are some of your favorites? What are some of your great same-gender loving songs or transgender songs? You know what? There's a lot of new TikTok stars rising up. God bless them. Keep throwing it out there. All right. Keep making the music. Keep playing the music. Sister Rosetta Tharpe, really the mother of rock and roll. Go look her up. If you're everyone in this community should look her up and give her some kudos. A black bisexual / lesbian. And you could say, well, how do you know she's lesbian or bisexual? Yeah, she was married to men 3 times, but many lesbians were forced into marriage. They had to marry. She might have been bisexual. That's true too. But the point is I'm looking for the day, and the day is here, that we can sing our music as loud or as quiet or as deep as we want, and hold the hand of the person we love, no matter who it is, in the process, and realize that our craft, our calling, our magic doesn't have to suffer because of the man and woman we are in love with.